It's Wednesday. TT here from Intuitive Minds. Already know. Thank you for hopping on here. Please do not scroll. There's a lot of information that everybody can utilize tonight. It is a full moon, and it's a full moon in Capricorn. And yesterday was like, well, actually, it's kind of like Capricorn and Sagittarius, but we're going to really focus on the Sagittarius part. Now, they are saying, because we have 12 full moons, 12 or 13, depending on the year. And this one is the strawberry moon, and it's all about ripening. And before a fruit ripens, there's intense pressure. And just like before an egg hatches, there's anticipation. And before the calm, there is a storm. So the strawberry moon is going to bring up some intense, and any full moon for that matter, but this June strawberry full moon is going to bring up the intensities of the insecurities, of the emotions, and it's all designed to put you in that moment and to like push and move forward. It's all about pushing forward, getting out of your comfort zone, and really focusing on your next path. Okay. Let's connect in with our energy while we're waiting for everybody to get on here. Tonight's topic is going to be about that intensity that brings in that strawberry moon, and that's rage. Trigger warning if you have rageful tendencies, but stick around. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to help you, give you some tips and tools that I have experienced, that I have used, that will help you try to navigate through those rageful moments, because it's all on purpose. All right, and we'll get into that. All right, so put your feet on the floor. Kind of give your arms a little shake, because we're going to tap in. And what I want you to do is, we always do something to be grateful for, something to get rid of, something to ask for. And so the fourth thing tonight is try to remember or think of something, a time or a situation when you've been in a rage. You know, like that energy, that anger really comes forward. So I want you to try to tap into that memory and how that makes you feel. We're not going to sit on it very long. I just want you to bring it into your peripheral, okay? All right, I put lotion on my hands. Let's take some deep breaths. Notice your shoulders will drop. One more. I want you to really hold this one. Think about that rageful situation, that rageful memory. Let it out. All right. Hello, everybody. Stay here. We've got lots of information to talk about. All right, get them hands hot, and you can feel it and feel the friction. Pull it away and try to find that ball of energy. Some of yours may be out here or up here. Oh. Mine has elevated. Look at that. I'm gonna bring it down just for training purposes, but yeah, yours might be out here. Yours might be, you can feel it more when you pulse faster, or pulse faster out here. There is no right or wrong. Just play with it a little bit. And like I said, put in this ball of energy. This is your time in this hour right now that I have provided for you guys. It's a safe space just to unwind, declutter, you're on your phone, but this is on purpose. You're not being distracted in a negative way, an unhelpful way. So put something great that you're grateful for in your bubble, and then something that you'd like to let go or release that no longer serves you. And set your intention for this full moon. Full moons are always about manifesting, but you don't need a full moon to manifest. It's just that we're closer to the veil during a full moon. It's just the energies are more intense. And then put that rage in this ball tonight. Ooh. And then we're just going to give it all to God, Source, Gaia, the universe. Just give it back. And he or she or they is going to take it, and going to recycle it and reuse it and send it back to us with love and light. Let's see who we got here. We got John. Hello, John. Hello, Vibes Radio. Hello, Musical Potato. Stormy Robinson, I've subscribed and liked. Thank you, thank you. Where are you from? I am from the Northwest, so I'll say Wisconsin, northwestern part of Wisconsin. All right, so the topic tonight is about rage. Rage is gets a negative, unhelpful connotation to the word, but we need to embrace our emotions. And rage is often grief that's been ignored. I'll give you a moment to process that. Rage is often grief that has been ignored. So when I say grief, I don't mean always that we have a tendency to associate grief with someone that we love that has passed on, dying. Grief does not always come with the death of a loved one. Grief can be an emotional attachment from someone that you love. When I did an emotional attachment, it did feel like grief because my nervous system was in shock. And even though I was still in vicinity with this person, it was almost like they died because of the sadness that was coming forward. And it was just my body and my nervous system's way of trying to regulate and trying to kind of pull all the pieces together and trying to figure out what needs to go and what needs to stay. So it's going to feel like grief, but grief can be a category of a plethora of things. So we're just going to use the word grief because it has such a wide, there's just so much that you can describe as the feeling of grief that grief brings. Okay. So rage, when you are in a rageful situation, and wherever you try to think back of that moment that you put in your ball and try to remember where you felt it, the most intensity in your body. So do you get sweaty, or do you get shaky, or does your head hurt, or do your eyes twitch? Some people clench their jaws. Some people's veins will stick out in their forehead. Sometimes their joints will cramp up. Sometimes people get anxiety and panic attacks, and they can't focus and they can't concentrate, or they'll just go in, they'll just completely shut down, they'll be numb. So think about one of the times that you were in a rageful situation and that rageful emotion came forward. Okay? Now, why we experience rage is because it's like a pressure cooker. If you were dealing with those emotions time and time again and letting them leak out, and a little bit of a squirt here and there, or a mist, it's a better word, it wouldn't be as intense. But when we suppress the emotion or the situation and dealing with that situation and dealing with that emotion that comes forward. And we just keep burying it and tucking it in and building and building. And all of a sudden, it has nowhere else to go. And your nervous system is going, all right, something's got to come out. Something's got to give here. So we explode. And chances are is because you've got all these intense emotions coming at you all at once, you are going to say things and do things that you normally wouldn't do if you were self-regulated, if you were maintaining, if you were doing your shadow work time and time again. But don't be scared of rage. Rage is good when you are aware of it and you're like, oh, okay, this is coming forward. And I don't want to lash out at anybody. I don't want to react from a place of fear, but I do want it to come forward. So sometimes some helpful ways to get out of rage. And so those intensities can slow down. So now they've come to the surface and the pot has exploded the top off. And now we have all these bits and pieces that we need to put back together. Once you can do that in a calm state of mind, then it's a lot easier trying to deal with it at the moment in the rage. But the rage is good because the rage has movement. The rage has motivation. The rage has fuel. The rage is going to get it out if you allow it. If you allow it. If you keep burying that, like I said, you can bury it all you want, but eventually your body is going to take over because the body keeps the score. The body is eventually going to take over. I need to get a drink here. So pay attention to your body. Your body is probably going to react before your brain. All right? And we don't want to lash out at people. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to say things that we'll regret because that is going to take a longer to repair. If we can just stick to ourselves and try to deal with it constructively. For instance, call a friend and ask them, hey, can I dump? Can I vent? I'm feeling this way. I just need to talk about it. Sometimes you need to talk about it. Sometimes a bath will help. Sometimes just calming the nervous system, eating a good food or going for a walk or exercising. Sometimes when we have that rage stored up, it's extra cortisol in our muscles. And it could be like lactic acid as well. So sometimes I know that in the past when I used to work out all the time, that I was a lot more regulated because I was always getting that out with exercise and like sweating through the cells. So my rageful tendencies weren't as intense and I was able to just talk about my emotions without getting, without exploding. Some other ways are if you're artistic, get into your hobbies or go for a run. Sometimes it's just so here on the surface of our body that we just need to like do something fast and intense and now. So somatic therapy is good because that's like shaking and stretching. And that's a good one just to like shake. That's a good one for like panic attacks. Is just to shake that extra energy off. Just some hit workouts, what else? Water is good. All the things that you do normally to like calm your nervous system down can be used during this rageful tendencies if you know what you're doing. You have to connect with the rage. It's on purpose. It's there for a reason. It's got a message. And so once we can connect with that emotion, that rage, we can go, oh, I'm really not mad at that. I'm actually mad or sad at this. Because usually it's disguised as one thing because it's on the surface. But once we kind of like I said, once the steam and everything has exploded and you come down and you're able to like think clearly, that's where the messages are. But in that moment, in that rage, that's where you need to harness the energy because it's going to help you release it. It's going to feel like, you're going to feel like shit. It's going to hurt. You're going to start having memories and those emotions, and especially if you've been burying them for a long, long time. From experience, I had an experience when I was a teenager, okay? And the experience happened very quickly, and I had to bury it. And also there was, I guess my family members we just kind of like shook it, swept it under the rug. There wasn't really a lot of talk about it at that time. And so all my guilt, all my shame, every emotion that I ever felt, I just buried it. I'm 50. So about 3 years ago in my spiritual journey, the one thing that I was told to work on by my higher self and my spirit guides was self-love. And so this thing that I had been burying for so long finally was one of the first strongest things that came forward that I needed to deal with. So it was like the darkest, I would say it was one of the darkest shadows that I had, the first darkest shadow that I had to deal with. And so when I tapped into that memory and actually had to deal with it, I actually went back to that day, to that moment, and my body and my mind were reliving that experience. And that was really, really painful. Lots of different emotions, and lots of emotions that I had already experienced came out. And it was so healing though. It was a moment of letting go. And it was a moment of forgiveness. And it was such a moment of true forgiveness and true healing and true rebirth and renewal. And I had a different outlook on life. I had a different outlook on myself. I was no longer carrying that guilt anymore about this thing that happened. And so I was able to kind of like get rid of it. And now when it comes forward differently, very, very differently. I have spoke about this in some of my podcasts, and when I get gutsy enough to like share them, I will be sharing the whole experience. So that's my experience with that rage, because I was really so mad at myself and all the parties that were included. All right. What else do we want to talk about rage? Just gonna look at my notes here. Grief. Oh, okay. So how rage can be a path for growth. So it invites your true higher self to come forward, and it allows your higher self to kind of go, okay, this isn't serving us anymore, and we're going to use this energy right now, this intense energy, to push us out of our comfort zone and to really look at what we need to do with what we're feeling right now. And like I said before, chances are, if it's something that if this rage is coming from a trigger, chances are that what you were triggered from has nothing to do. Chances are it has nothing to do with that person or that situation in that very moment. It's something that is connected to it, but you have to unpeel that onion and unpack it and look at, oh, like you said that or you did that. That's making me feel this way. I felt this way about this because this happened when they said that. So chances are, like, there's some things that like have triggered you, that's like a word or a phrase or even an emotion. Even when somebody else is experiencing an emotion, that will trigger you, which will trigger your rage. So Really, it's all about self-awareness. It's all about just allowing your body to experience the experience. Because if you don't, if you keep pushing things down, you are denying yourself, your human self, you are denying your higher self to allow you to help in that moment to heal that part of you that is insecure, that wounded part. And we don't have to carry those burdens, because when we carry all those burdens, a lot of other crap is in those burdens and is preventing us from moving forward and expanding and our goals to be met and loving ourselves. Let's do the cards. Any questions? Any questions? Did I explain it well enough? Because all this stuff was coming at me today. So the full moon in Sagittarius, like I said before, it's either in Capricorn or Sagittarius, depending on like what time zone you're in, but I'm going to focus on the full moon in Sagittarius. So look at the bigger picture. That kind of goes with what I said about looking at why we're triggered, where does that rage come from? You're probably not really mad at the person that cut you off. You've probably, it's just you're in a situation where you're alone. You're driving, it pisses you off, but really there's something else underneath that's who or what you're mad at. So look at the bigger picture. And I found the quote because I thought this was really interesting. I had heard this, seen it before a million times. And it's an arrow. It's a bow and arrow. And the quote is, an arrow can only be launched forward when you pull back with strength. So in that moment of rage, when you're doing your shadow work and you want to get through it, well, you can't launch that arrow until you take a little pause, gather some strength, pull that bow back, think about where your aim is, and then let it go. So I'm going to read from the book for this. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minute details can be counterproductive. Or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? I want to go back to that, okay? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Take a time out for a mini break or adventure. The situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident. And have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, I encourage you to look at the bigger picture. So, what's the most positive thought that you can have about your situation? So, what I want to say about that is, say you've got a difficult situation and there might be a lot of heated emotions and uncertainties towards this situation and a lot of unhelpful things that are coming forward and it's not resolved yet. Okay? So if you keep looping your brain and your mind and it's all about you keep having kind of a negative or lack mindset, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What does that do? That actually fuels the unhelpful / negative things to happen. You are manifesting it by thinking it, saying it, talking about it, writing it down. Even though, yes, there are some heated emotions with it, like rage, but try to focus on how to reverse that, how to reverse the rage into positivity. This is not easy. This is not easy at all, because if we have insecurities and we're constantly triggered by someone or something, it's very hard to catch yourself. I caught myself the other day because I'm really trying to do this. I'm really trying to just not talk about my situation. And because every time you talk about it, what are you doing? You are feeding that energy. You are feeding that connection. And so I'm working really hard to not talk about it, to not think about it. And when I do think about it, when it does come up, I really try to catch myself and go, okay, like I don't want to bash the situation or give blame to either part of the situation or to anybody for that matter. But I just want to see it for what it is, for what the reality is right now. Not in the past, not in the future, because that's uncertainty. The past we can't do anything about, and the uncertainty is not here yet. So I'm trying to look at things the way they are right now and make decisions, make my decisions out of what I know exactly right now. What is happening right now? How do I feel right now? And so I've been catching myself with these negative mind loops and this lack mentality. And I bring it back to center and I ask myself, okay, where are these? Why am I in this negative lack mindset right now? And what can I control? And how can I change the way that I'm thinking into something positive so that I can raise my vibration? Not that rage is from, it's not really a lower vibration. It's kind of a sticky spot to be in. I would say it's on the cuspus. I wouldn't say it's low vibration, but I wouldn't say it's high vibration. I would say that it's like a rage is like what was the word I was using today? It's like a hurricane of emotions, you know, and it's all like swirling. And you know how like a tornado is, you have like the cold air and the hot air, and you need both to create this movement, you know. But when we sit in it and we allow it to happen, because you can't prevent the weather, we can't control it. We can take safety, we can learn from it, and we can protect ourselves. So, but we cannot control it. So I'm really working hard when I get those loop and that lack mindset. I can just pause for a moment and be like, how do I really want to feel in this moment? Do I want to be rageful? Do I want my anxiety and my heart rate and my blood pressure to be elevated? No, because then I can't think straight, and then I'm just all scattery. And I don't like that. I don't like being scattery. I don't like having like that icky feeling in my body. So I ask myself, how do I want to feel right now? And I focus on how I want to feel. And then I do the things. I say some affirmations. I take some deep breaths. I shake it off. I try to find things that bring me joy. Or it's just maybe listening to a better song or a different positive, you know, interesting podcast. Like when I really want to get out of my head and just be Tanya and not have to be like intuitive or going through my shit, and I just want to take a pause and I just want to like, okay, I just want to feel normal right now. I listen to murder podcasts, murder mysteries. I know it's weird, right? But it works for me because it's something that I listen to that I don't normally listen to. I normally listen to music, or I normally listen to like my spiritual people that I subscribe to on YouTube, or I'll listen to some of my own recordings. I'm going to pull another card. Any questions? Do we have any questions? We got one thumbs up and one person. All right. That's all right. So I'm going to pull from... There was something else that I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to go through my notes because I wrote stuff down for that. Oh, okay. Full moons are a great opportunity for forgiveness. So tonight is a full moon, and I think you can even take advantage of it tomorrow night. You can do a forgiveness letter or ceremony anytime you want. But in my experience, I can feel the difference sooner. It's either dust or orb. If you're here, spirit, like, you gotta behave. You know the rules. From my experience, when I do a forgiveness ceremony on a full moon, it just seems like I notice the difference and the effect, like, within, the next day. But you can do a forgiveness letter whenever. So forgiveness letter is all about you. And it comes with you. It starts with you. Because if you can't forgive yourself, you're never going to be able to forgive someone else. And if you can't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love someone else. So forgiveness starts with you. That person may not ever be around for you to forgive them, or it just you might not ever, have the opportunity to, and that's okay. You can forgive them through the ether, through the universe. I had this happen. So I wrote a forgiveness letter to someone in my family. And it was in the beginning of my journey. So there was a lot of rage and there was a lot of ick. And so I wrote it and I burned it. And the next day, this certain individual called just out of a whim, kind of random. And what did I say? I said, I said something about what mood I was in. And the person said, "Oh, you don't have that anymore. You don't have to feel that way anymore." And I was taken back because normally this person, we have a joking, kind of playful banter. It's playful sarcasm. And so for this person to get real and serious and compassionate, it just blew me away. So I chalked it up with my energy that I did that night was connecting with that person. Okay. So I'm going to command that I am a conduit for the messages using this card deck that I made. It's called Words to Live By. If you are interested in buying it, it's $25. It's on Etsy, also Marketplace. So reach out to me if you want this deck. It's an anime theme. Comes with a guidebook. There's 40 cards. All right. Let's pull a card on rage. What can you tell us more about rage that I didn't already tell or that we want to talk more about? Shuffle one more time because I love to shuffle. Shuffle. Okay. I'm going to pull a card on the rage topic. Tell us more about rage. Let's not be scared of rage. Balance. There we go. We get this card a lot here. So that makes total sense. You got to find your balance. It also means like when you're kind of tipping that scale towards the rage and we're not like quite releasing it, try to allow yourself to be in the rage, okay? And try to find balance in the rage. So it's heated, like our body is doing all the things, and we want to lash out, we want to scream, we want to break something, we want to cry, scream, whatever, or escape or shut down. So when you're in that moment, and you know you're in that moment, and you are aware of what it means, and you can't just let it go, because it's there for a reason. It's there for healing. Try to find some way to first calm your nervous system down, or utilize that energy, like I said before, with like exercise, or something. When so when in my rageful days, I'm not as rageful as I used to be, because I have dealt with it. So now when stuff comes forward, I usually deal with it right away. But in my youthful, and in my early 20s, when I had lots of rage, I would clean, and I would have I would turn on like heavy metal, and I would clean my house, and that was my go-to at the time. So that's healthy. So I guess that's what this card is telling us is, that you need to embrace it, but you also need to deal with it in a constructive way so that it doesn't hurt others. We do not want to take our rage out on the people we love, and even the people that have caused the rage. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is how it's affecting us. All right? No blame, no shame. You just deal with it. There's something to be dealt with. There's something that needs to be healed. All right? Let's read from the book. I feel like we need to pull another card. Oh, I want to talk about something after I read this, okay? About like rage rooms, okay? Everything in this world needs balance to survive. We need to breathe in, we need to breathe out. Your body needs time to refuel and time to digest. The body needs activity and time to rest. We need the day and the night, the rain and the sun, the wind and the calm, the winter and the summer. We need the inside and the outside. We need to connect with others and to be alone. We need masculine and feminine energies. We need to speak and to listen, to see and to not know. Waves crashing in and waves carried out. We need to receive from others and give back to the world. We need pleasure and pain, heartache and romance, friends and foes, shifting and releasing, work and play, taking the good with the bad, the ups and the downs, the yeses and the nos, the smiles with the frowns. Rhymes. Embrace and appreciate every situation in life. There is a lesson to be learned and an opportunity for growth. Well, that's perfect. That is the message. There is a lesson to be learned and an opportunity for growth. Okay. Any questions, comments? Oh, I do free readings at the end of every month if you have watched here on YouTube or watched on Facebook. So this video will be uploaded to Facebook for my Facebook viewers. But Facebook is now deleting videos past 30 days. So every other week I'll be doing YouTube videos and uploading them to Facebook for my Facebook family. And then every other week I'll be doing Facebook videos and uploading them to YouTube for my YouTube families. So I'm trying to diversify my audience so that I can spread the word. That's what I'm here for. That's my purpose, is to teach my experiences and what I have learned through all my experiences, so I can help you, so it's a lot easier, so you don't struggle. Okay, rage rooms. All right, I think there's one around where I live. Okay, but just Google where you are. Rage rooms. So the one website, I think I seen it on Facebook, but it's called, it's called rage rooms. So they have these, like, people donate windows and doors and TVs and all kinds of shit. And you can take these, like, post malls and hammers, and you can take your rage out on these like used appliances. I think there's like cement blocks in there too. I can't, from what I've seen from the pictures. So if you have done a rage room, or you have like your own little rage part at your house, comment on here like what the experience is about, because I'm really curious to do it. And even though I don't like feel like I have buried rage, we all have a little bit of it. And I think it's just therapeutic to get whatever is residual, whatever is left, whatever's hiding out in the corners, in the crevices of our ego, perhaps. I think it's just great as like a physical activity. So comment on here, free reading, and comment on here if you know or have experienced the rage room. I think I want to do, what do I want to do? I'm just going to look at my notes real quick. Oh, okay. I want to talk more about rage because there's rage rituals. Pillow screams. So I guess that would be like grabbing your pillow and just like screaming as loud as you can inside your pillow. Or scream therapy. Scream therapy is very therapeutic. I have not done it. I haven't really, I guess that's not my go-to anymore because I'm just a crier. I just cry. I cry and I take a bath and I talk about it. That's like how I get my rage out. Primal dance. Ooh, and then writing it out raw. So that's like with no judgment, all right? And I used to think that when I would talk it out into the universe, and like I said before about like putting that bad energy into it, as long as when you rant and you're venting, as long as you have the intention that you are only getting it out, because then the universe will just kind of like cradle it. It'll be like, okay, I'm not going to let this go anywhere. I'm just going to like recycle it and turn it into love and light as soon as you expel it from your mouth. I used to think that when I would vent or talk out loud in my car, that I was projecting it outward. But it has come to light through experience and through my mentors and other people, that as long as we set the intent, because intention is everything, we are not venting or ranting to hurt that other person or to send them ill vibes. It's just for therapy for us to get it off our chest, to get it out of our throat chakra. And so now when I'm feeling angst or rageful or my emotions are intense, I just kind of talk as I drive. And I also have several recordings of walks of wisdom that I'm in the works of trying to get re-recorded and trying to organize. And I will let you guys know when that will be ready to listen to. I haven't found a platform. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on YouTube or Spotify. Safe expression. Speak it out loud, not just in your head. We talked about that. And as long as you set the intention that you do not want any of this to go towards the person, okay? Because that's not cool. Channel it into creative action or truth telling. So write it down or put your rage into, a lot of people like rage paint, where they just find like a canvas and different media, whether it's clay. Oh, clay is a good one because we can like really pack it. We can really get that impact. And then letting it move through your body, not at someone else. We don't free rage to hurt people. We free it so it doesn't keep hurting us. So kind of like forgiveness. I think that's it. I'm not going to pull any more cards. Full moon tonight. It's pretty cloudy here. I don't know if I will see it. If you are watching this on replay, comment, post on here your experience, what it was for your full moon. And if you're not quite into this as deeply as I am into this, I don't like to say woo woo because this is my life. This is my life path. I live my life by a balanced life of spirituality and real life human stuff, which is huge, which is hard. It's hard for me to be human. There are There are days when I do not want to be a human. And I don't mean that by like taking my life. I just mean that I just maybe would like to be a dog or a tree or a squirrel or a bug or a blade of grass, you know, something with less emotion. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost it. Oh, so tonight, before you go to bed, either write it down or, you know, do your digital memo in your phone or whatever, writing it down, you know, writing it down with putting the pen to the paper is most beneficial. You put it into the universe. Make the connection with your body and that piece of paper and the mind, because, you know, you have to like write out the letters, you know, so you're actually putting intent into the motions of each letter, and it's like a puzzle. Each letter makes a word, and each word makes a sentence, and each sentence finishes the connection, finishes the message. So writing it out is, I'm going to tell you, is the best way. That's just me. That's my opinion. That's my experience. That's my jam. That's my rant. Yeah. So write something down tonight that, you know, that you would like to feel less rageful for. Whether it's yourself, something that maybe you've got some rage for yourself, something that you did, or something that somebody else did, or a situation that you were a part of that you wish wouldn't have happened. So, you know, and there's two things. So write down that memory or that situation. Forgive the situation, forgive yourself, forgive that person, and then and then as you're sitting there with your paper, just really ask yourself and allow your body, ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How would I rather want to feel? Because, you know, this rageful makes me feel this way. But when I think of it, when I remember it and it comes up or I'm triggered, how do I want it to feel in the future? And that's where forgiveness is so magical, because once we can truly forgive ourselves, that situation, those people, when the memory or when we're triggered or activated, when that comes forward, we can actually look at it from a love and light view and just kind of go, yep, thank you, that happened, and then this happened, and then I grew from it, and I expanded from it, and I learned from it. So now I'm going to remember that happened, and I'm not going to feel ill towards it, but I'm going to be grateful that happened because of where I am now in my life. All right? There are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Negative, positive, good, bad, helpful, unhelpful. Everything happens for a reason. All right, I'm going to be done. Good luck with the rage. Reach out to me. I am offering free 20-minute free consultations for anybody. I have gone through a lot of shit, people. And I had help with some of it. Some of it I had to just learn as I go. But I want to help people so that they don't have to guess what to do, where to go, you know, and how to navigate through it, because we all have to get up in the morning and go to work, take care of the kids, take care of whoever. We all have responsibilities as humans, and when shit in our life is affecting us from feeling good or having the energy and the motivation to do those things, it's hard being a human. And so reach out to me. I'm giving free 20-minute initial consultations. All right, we can talk about anything. It doesn't matter. We can just pull cards the whole time. We can just talk, even if you don't really want a solution, but you just need somebody to listen to. I'm here for you. Okay. Comment on here. There's a bunch of different places to reach out. I'm on Facebook. in Intuitive Minds already know, you can message me there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I have email. I'm not going to put my phone number out here, but there are many different ways to reach out to me. I want to help. That's my passion. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Set your intentions tonight. Get that strawberry ripening moon energy in you, okay? Put your crystals out, make moon water, do all the jazzy stuff that you do, all right? Thank you, and we will see you in 2 weeks on here. Love you. Bye.